joining us. The executive session has ended before we resume our regular meeting, the Atlanta Board of Education. At this time, I would like to turn the floor over to Board Member Zeff for his recognition.
Recording in progress.
Oh, good. I didn't. Okay. Better use my good diction.
Recording stopped.
Yeah. Thank you all for coming out tonight. It is my pleasure to recognize David White from Burgess Peterson Academy. David, why don't you come on up here? Take that long walk of glory. All right, stand there where everyone can see. All right. They don't want. We got some nice things to say about you, David. Yeah, enjoy it. We proudly recognize Principal David White for his extraordinary leadership at Burgess Peterson Academy, where his commitment to excellence, equity, and community has left a lasting legacy. Since stepping into the role in 2015, Mr. White has guided Burgess Peterson through a remarkable transformation. Enrollment has more than doubled, from 240 to over 600 students, reflecting the school's growing reputation as a top choice for families in East Atlanta. Under his leadership, Burgess Peterson has become one of the top-performing elementary schools in Georgia. Reading and math proficiency scores exceed state averages by double digits, and the school ranks in the top 20% for academic achievement. Through strategic initiatives like Orton-Gillingham literacy instruction and the focus on the science of reading, Mr. White has cultivated a culture of high expectations and joyful learning. Look at these pictures of David, too. So handsome. Right? That's what happens when you hit a certain age. His impact is also reflected in the strength of his team. During his tenure, three educators at Burgess Peterson have become Atlanta School's Elementary School Teachers of the Year, even one going on to become a Georgia Teacher of the Year finalist. Let's applaud those three folks. These honors speak to the inspiring environment Mr. White has fostered, where educators are deeply supported and empowered to thrive. Equally significant is the diverse and inclusive community that he has nurtured. Burgess Peterson serves a richly diverse student body, approximately 45% African American, 38% white, 8% identifying as two or more races, 7% Hispanic. Mr. White has championed a culture that ensures every child feels seen, supported, and celebrated. As he has now completed his last year as principal, we celebrate David White for all he has done to inspire students, empower educators, and uplift an entire community. His legacy will continue to shine brightly through every student who walks through the doors of Burgess Peterson. Ladies and gentlemen, David White.
At this time, the board has a very special presentation. The Atlanta Public Schools takes pride in being family-oriented and community-focused district. Our APS community is supportive, our community is resilient, our community is strong. When we celebrate together. When we mourn together. This is the APS way. In efforts of recognizing outstanding achievement to honor the memory of Atlanta Public School students who are no longer with us, each high school principal was invited to submit names for consideration for a very special recognition. The Atlanta Board of Education awards honorary diplomas to individuals who have made exceptional contribution to education, the community, or a particular field. The honorary diplomas reflect the achievement that embodies the value, mission, and goals of Atlanta Public Schools. This policy established a fair and consistent process for awarding honorary diplomas, ensuring alignment with the district missions. By honoring these individuals, APS not only celebrate their accomplishment, but also inspires future generations to strive for positive societal impact. At this time, give me one moment. Regarding the honorary diplomas, out of respect for the time of the honorees, we would like to make this presentation at this time ahead of the ratifying vote that will take place later in the meeting. With that being said, I would like to invite District 2 Board Member Iretta Baldwin and seat at large Board Member Alfred Sherry Brooks.
Thank you, Board Chair Mitchell. District 2 has 2 diplomas that they would like to acknowledge. The first is General Larry Platt. General Larry Pratt was born in 1947 in St. Louis and raised in Atlanta. He is a lifelong civil rights activist and musician, best known for his unwavering dedication to social justice and his viral 2010 performance of Pants on the Ground on American Idol. Surviving a traumatic childhood attack by the Ku Klux Klan, Platt became active in the civil rights movement as a teen, working with groups like the SCLC, SNCC, and NAACP, and participating in landmark events such as the March on Washington and Bloody Sunday. Nicknamed General by Reverend Hosea Williams for his courage, Platt has continued advocating for human rights and supporting underserved communities throughout his life. Honored by the Georgia General Assembly and Governor Brian Kemp, he remains a symbol of resilience, activism, and unexpected cultural impact. General Platt, I'd like to present to you this honorary diploma. I think General Platt was one of the first people I spoke to when I first started on the board. So we have one more from District 2. Give me one moment to transition. The second honorary diploma from District 2 is to be presented to Ms. Blanche Forts. Ms. Forts was born in Fayette County, Georgia, and began her education at E.R. Carter Elementary and attended Washington High School, where she would have graduated in 1955 before marrying young and raising 2 children, James and Arlene. She later worked at a Rickett and Coleman chemical plant in Doraville. She is a lifelong resident of the Adamsville community. Ms. Forts created a loving home that became a haven for her children, grandchildren, and many others she nurtured as a surrogate mother. Among them, professionals such as Judge Asha Jackson, lawyers, realtors, flight attendants, and educators. After retirement, she enjoyed traveling and shopping, and today at 87, she takes pride in being a mother, grandmother to 6 grandsons, and a great-grandmother, living a peaceful and fulfilling life. Ms. Blanche Forts, it is an honor to present to you this honorary diploma on behalf of the Atlanta Board of Education.
At this time, thank you. Ooh. You know, it's not about me, it's about the students of APS. Some of them are with us now, and some of them are not. But one of the things that hurt me was to see parents walk across the stage without a diploma for their child that they lost. And so now I would like to bring one of those parents up who is a board member to honor his son, Bryce Carr Brooks, a light board member, Alfred Shibby Brooks, for his recognition. Thank you.
I was ready to keep a dry eye until Erica did that right there. This moment means a lot. 2 years ago, my family experienced the loss of our 16-year-old son who unfortunately lost his life in an effort to save the lives of 3 other APS kids that he didn't even know in another place, in another state, because he felt compelled in his heart to do the right thing in the moment. Last year, my family had the opportunity to go to the vision ceremony at Maynard Jackson High School, where Bryce should have been a graduate in the class of 2024. And while it was so heartwarming to receive a cap and gown, to receive his cords, and to be given the cover for his diploma, but at the same time, as a parent, it was heartbreaking to open the cover and see nothing there. My family's been blessed enough to receive letters from the President of the United States, from Senator Warnock, from Senator Ossoff, from the mayor. My son has a day by the state, a day by the county, and a day by the city, but none of it matters as much as being able to hold my son's diploma. Policy has purpose, and this policy, I believe, is going to do so much in the way of restoration, so much in the way of acknowledgement, and so much in the way of Atlanta Public Schools saying to the community, your child was here. Your child matters. Every single one of our children matter. And so, without further ado, I'd like to ask my son Christian, who's wearing his brother's graduation cap, and my wife Crystal Brooks to come and receive the diploma now that can go in this case, that can be put on that wall, that I've had the opportunity and the privilege, thank you, Katie, to be able to sign it. Because Katie could have signed it, but she let me, so thank you. Y'all please give a round of applause.
Yep. Let me just throw that. We got two more. Soccer team and track. So at this time, I would like to invite Dr. Johnson up to recognize a couple of exceptional athletes.
It's all good. All right, so this evening, Atlanta Public Schools students excel in the classroom. They excel also on the field of competition and extracurriculars. And so tonight, I get the privilege of recognizing 3 different schools, 2 teams, 1 school comprehensively for their work. So we'll start with a recognition of another state championship here in Atlanta Public Schools this year. We'll say that's because I came this year, right? No. Oh, excellent, sir. I was just saying, it's definitely not me. It's these young ladies with the track team from Carver High School. I know the. Come on up. Absolutely, they are the GHSA 2A girls track and field state champions. Congratulations again, ladies. I know y'all didn't tune in to the work session, but one board member, to be left unnamed, said I was agile. So if any of y'all want to race after, I'm just joking. All right, so we got a second state championship. It was a good spring. With the boys, the young men from Drew Charter, who were the 2025 GHSA 2A soccer state champions. Please come forward. Congratulations. All right. Congratulations again to our student athletes. The last one, I'm a firm believer when you're number one in the state, we gonna recognize you. And so Atlanta Neighborhood Charter School was the 2025 Georgia Charter School of the Year. Please come on up. Let's recognize this leadership team at ANCS on being the state Charter School of the Year. Eric, you want this? Oh, that's you. I got it. I'm gonna hold your head.
What a wonderful evening to kick off these recognitions and celebrations. Kudos to everyone. At this time, we will commence our first budget hearing. Dr. Bracken, would you please come forward?
Thank you. Good evening, Board Chair Mitchell, members of the board, Dr. Johnson. Yes, this budget mirrors the overarching theme of this year, which is getting back to the basics, being more disciplined in our decisions and spending and focusing on the long-term sustainability of the district. We ensured a transparent baseline of funding for every school. We drove $45 million more to school budgets, concentrating at the elementary school and increasing spending at core classrooms. Employee benefits are the single largest cost driver for FY26, with more than $26 million in increased benefit costs. We cut a net 135 positions from the central office, with additional decreases still under review. We utilized a zero-based budget for signature programming and turnaround. We reduced duplicated funding for some of our APS programming. And current year cuts allowed for us to expedite a textbook adoption while still funding a step increase for all employees. Most importantly, we reduced our dependence on fund balance by 86%. The FY26 budget represents about a 2% increase in both revenue and expenditures from FY 2025. Overall, we are requesting the board to approve a budget of $1.845 billion. This includes a consolidated general fund at $1.3 billion, special revenue at $82.4 million, SPLOST at $413.3 million, nutrition at $41.1 million, and student activity funds at $4.5 million. Additional information about the budget can be found on the budget website, including all of the Budget Commission materials, our budget books, budget primers. All the board presentations can be found on the board's YouTube channel, and the interactive school and department sheets can be found on the budget website.
Thank you, Dr. Bracken. Mr. Woodward, would you read the rules for public comment so we can begin public comment for the budget hearing? Thank you.
Yes, Madam Chair, and good evening and welcome again, everyone, to the public comment portion of tonight's agenda. In just a few moments, the board will begin hearing from those who signed up to speak by 5:50 p.m. The board welcomes your comments, but before we get started, please take note of the following guidelines on how public comment is conducted. The board has allocated 1 hour for public comment, and each speaker will only be allowed to speak once for a total of 2 minutes. The board may elect to hear community comments in any order or sequence and is not limited by the order of sign-up sheets. All speakers presenting highly detailed information are asked to put their comments in writing, and comment cards are available for those wishing to do so. In order to maintain meeting decorum, follow appropriate protocols, protect the confidentiality of students, and ensure impartiality, the board will not hear comments on matters involving individual students, parents, or the character, professional competence, or the physical and mental health of any individual. Also, the board will not hear public comment on personnel matters that specifically include the names or titles of employees. This includes, but is not limited to, contract non-renewals, position abolishment, the hiring or firing of staff, and investigative proceedings regarding allegations of misconduct. Comments regarding personnel issues should be sent in writing to Atlanta Board of Education, 130 Trinity Avenue, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia, 30303, or via email at boardcomments@atlantapublicschools.us. Finally, in order to maintain meeting decorum and to ensure all comments can be heard by the board, applause, cheering, jeering, or speech that defames individuals or disrupts the meeting should be refrained from and may cause for removal, adjournment of the meeting, and or suspension from attending future Atlanta Board of Education events, hearings, meetings, or other proceedings. With that said, I'd like to call the first speaker to the microphone for our final budget hearing meeting, Ms. Nathaniel Dyer.
Good evening. I said you can have all the money in the world, but does it have soul to it? Does it reach the children? There's a huge need within this city for a culture change, especially in education. Now, one cannot ignore the fact that violence is really taking a grip on this city, and it's young people. You know, the average age, I would say, is probably around 22 to 30. And for this city, most of those young people were caught up in the cheating scandal. And to clarify, it was more than the ratio of answers, which wasn't done by the children. They taught the children nothing. So reading, writing, math, having a trajectory for success was non-existent. Here we are now, how much has changed? Have to be able to connect the dots. If we're sending out young people who are not prepared for the future, but we're spending all this money, who benefits? A lot of awards passed out tonight, but I want the championship of academic success for all of the schools. Let's have some equality, some equity, but that's some hard work. You're not going to be liked, but I tell you, you will be respected across the globe. We have young people shooting, wounding, killing each other, when really they should be lifting each other up. We have some great talent in here tonight. They know what winning is all about. Please take on that mindset, that winning attitude, so that all of our young people can benefit and stay away from the violence, the drugs, the bad behavior, and become number one leaders. Thank you.
That concludes our budget hearing, and now we will go into our community meeting. The same rules apply for public comment.
Check.
And Mr. Wilborn, would you please call the first speaker? Thank you.
Maya Scott, Kevin Sipp, and Unica Sipp.
Wrong thing was Maya Cott on the system. But hello, how's everybody doing tonight? Well, as you know, my name is Maya. I'm part of the fellowship program with Atlanta Thrive. It's not me, somebody else. Okay, here. Okay, sorry. I'm part of the fellowship program with Atlanta Thrive. I'd like to personally invite you to our house meeting on June the 10th at 5 p.m. The meeting will last about an hour. We will discuss Atlanta Thrive's visions and missions and how we can unite and help each other, ensure our children receive what they need to become productive, law-abiding citizens with their education. And I want to leave you with a quote that inspired me by our 26th president, Theodore Roosevelt. He said, "One person can make a difference and everyone should try." Thank you for your time.
Greetings. My name is Kevin Sipp, and this is my wife.
Unica Rogers Sipp. Good evening, everyone.
And I simply want to say thank you. We came here to advocate on behalf of our daughter this evening, but luckily before the meeting officially started, we were able to meet with members of the Atlanta School Board, Associate Superintendent Usher and others, and they have assured us that the issue that we are looking to resolve is being looked into. So I don't want to take up a whole lot of time. I just want to thank those who took the time to speak to us before this meeting officially started and letting us know that they are going to be looking into the matter on our advocacy on behalf of our daughter. So thank you.
Thank
you. Okay, Anne-Marie Sipp, Nathaniel Dyer, and Nisha Dobbs, please come to the podium.
Hello, my name is Honorary Sipp. My parents just spoke on behalf of myself and my issue with school choice. As this year, I transferred to Sutton Middle School because last year the school that I went to closed down, and I was under the impression that I would go to North Atlanta next year because I was under the impression that I would go to North Atlanta next year. And they didn't tell me until I finished the whole process of course request and everything that I did. And the feeling that I fought, like, when I got that decision, when I got that, when that result came in, I felt that I was leaving everything behind just like I did last year, and that's the last thing I want to do again. As I'm as I'm going into the most important 4 years of my life at high school, and I don't want to lose the achievements that I've gained and the success that I've made over the years that I worked on. So thank you.
That's one of our great young people, you know, one of the geniuses within the Atlanta public school system. And, you know, hey, I don't have any biological kids of my own, but hey, your kids are my kids. And I fight like hell for them. And I make no apologies about it. Now, yeah, I may be a bit, yeah, all those things, but it's worth it. It's worth it when, you know, we have to be a bridge for the future. And I'll be that any day. I think we're in some great times. You know, there's a lot of crazy things going on, but we have to get it together. We have to hold it together for our young people. If we don't, it's not going to be good for us when we're in our rocking chairs or whatever we choose to be leisure in. These young people are brilliant. Let's give them the best. You know, let's not waste a dime on the possibilities of just, hey, even if it cracks a little smile, you know, and the rest is the work to be done. You know, let's reach out to them, you know, meet them, hey, maybe a little bit more than halfway. It's simple work, really simple. We've all been there. That's why we're the adults. They're the kids, you know. Discipline is key, but then along with discipline, you got to have some, how can I say, stretch the limits of the imagination so that they can at least feel or visualize them being in those, being able to achieve those opportunities. They're winners. We can make them even better. So let's work together. Let's make sure our young people have the best. Let's use every bit of that billions, $2 billion that you have for our young people. Thank you.
Good evening, board, Dr. Johnson. First of all, thank you for a worldwide of a year. I've seen things I've never seen before, things that should have happened a long time ago, still things to come that need to happen. I just want to kind of recap. This year, I've had over 70 IEP meetings, individual families. I would like to see the next upcoming year universal procedure. If it's a federal law, just like driver's license, everyone should know what it is. It should be played out universally across everybody's desks. There should be no additives. Shouldn't be no flybys, no secrets, no. It should be uniform. Parents request anything for their child, it should be written and followed up on. It should be accountability everywhere. And checks and balances are a big key. People are not checking up on their, CELTs aren't checking up on the teachers or however it may go, you know. We need some accountability, and it's very vital. This summer, I just want to let you know we will be walking the neighborhoods. I am in control of the field team, so we're going to hit every door possible. And we're going to spread the word of what's going on in APS. A lot of people do not know what's going on, and we're going to try to be that bridge to let them know. The facilities masters, a lot of parents are not going to be here next year, so we just want to know what's going on and spread that word. Thank you.
John Davis.
All right. Greetings, board. I don't have much to say as well. I just want to, excuse me for my voice. I want to thank Dr. Johnson and for completing the first full year with the school as far as like going through that whole process. And I want to also thank him for his willingness to engage our parents and engage the community. You know, I knew something was different at that first meeting that he had, and instead of him going by the script that was given to him as far as like answering those questions, he said, I'm gonna put this down and I want you guys to ask me questions. And I knew that was different. And so I want to thank Dr. Johnson for that. Also, I want to thank him for being able to jump in there and look at the problems that we did have that he didn't cause them, but he was able to be bold and be able to look at them head on. But I will say now that he's completed that year, any problems he has now is his problem. Honeymoon over, no, I just so, but we know that with his leadership, we believe that he's able to answer those problems that we have, but also with the community involvement. And so that's my word to the board, that as we go, you know, and have that time off for the next board meeting, that every one of you guys be able to engage the community like you've been doing. We've seen some changes, we've heard it from our parents, but there's still more work to be done, because there are some parents that still feels like their voices are not being heard, and we want to make sure that we're able to reach those parents that have those vulnerable kids in those situations. And also I want to thank all the board members and all the district people, as well as Dr. Johnson, who were able to meet some of our parents that we brought here and address their problems. That doesn't go overlooked, and I hope that's just not a one-time thing, because I know we got an election coming up, and you know, we know how the politic can go. So we want to make sure that we keep our eyes on the prize and make sure that the kids are our goal. So thank you, guys.
Madam Chair, that concludes public comment.
Thank you, community members, for speaking with us this evening. We always appreciate your feedback. The board meeting summer schedule will commence at the end of this meeting, and we'll reconvene for the first board meeting, the new school year, in August. Now we will hear report outs from conferences and committees.
This month, Board Chair Mitchell will provide a report from Policy Committee.
Thank you, Vice Chair McDonald. The Policy Review Committee met on May 13th to discuss several district policy. We discussed policy EBB, safety policy, policy JBC1, homeless students, policy JCDAF, use of electronic devices by students, and policy KM, visitors to schools. We do not recommend any changes to these policies at this time, but will draft revision to the electronic device policy in the coming months. I would also like to share that this term will conclude my service on Policy Committee. I am pleased to announce, not policy, I apologize. This term concludes my service on Audit Committee, and I'm pleased to announce that I'm appointing board member Totem Place to serve for the coming year, school year. Thank you. Okay. This concludes my remarks. Dr. Johnson, we're ready to hear your remarks.
Absolutely. Thank you, Madam Chair. First, I want to say it was a tremendous graduation season. Congratulations to all of our graduates, to the parents, families, friends that were it played any role in our students' journey and in their next steps. Kudos to them. I also like to give a special thanks to all the folks behind the scenes that make commencement happen. And so I know Michael and so many other faces that we saw, folks just picking up and making it happen. So thank you for your efforts in making it special for those families. Our first presentation from the work session tonight was around the strategic plan, one in which you'll be considering tonight. In addition to that, we also covered Goal 2 around numeracy. and gave an update on that particular work. We also had our regular monthly financial update and heard an update on legislative priorities and progress from the 2025 session. The final presentation was a year-end overview, and which I shared just some of the highlights and work over the last 10 months. Starting in August is tough because the ship's kind of out of the dock. So John, don't call me fully. Give me a little more time past that. I'm just messing. 'Cause I know y'all gonna hold me accountable. But the other side of the equation is we're really proud of some of the work that we believe has been done, and the team and the schools and the teachers that have really leaned in to make it happen. A few really key announcements: June 2nd through 27th is Power Up. About 9,000 student participants in it, and we look forward to that. Today you'll be considering a calendar adjustment. The worst three of our worst attendance days were Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of last week. Tuesday and Wednesday had more than 20% of our students absent, and on Thursday, almost 30% of our students were absent. In addition to that, we know that school starting on a Friday is probably not the most ideal situation, and so we feel good about what you're considering. We know it's not perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect calendar, but we've tried to deal with it as best we can and honor the breaks and really make sure that we're thoughtful about that. So you'll be considering that today. APS Forward 2040 facility planning will continue to go forward. June 16th is the next task force meeting, and so we look forward to continuing to gather that group and move forward. And then I just want to re-elevate that. We will be, really be intentional with enforcing our policies, in particular around personal electronic devices. And we know there's a conversation legislatively that has gone on. We want our students to be, let me talk to my 13-year-old son. I want my child to be connected to his teacher. And I don't want him to be disconnected from everything else, but I want him to be connected to his teacher and the learning that will take place, because there's plenty of time to be connected in other places. So we'll continue to elevate that as we go forward. It's a policy that has been on the books for some time. APS was ahead of the game, and we just need to lean into the implementation of that. So we'll work with schools over the course of the summer as we get ready to start the school year and do even more deep dive communication around that. Madam Chair, that concludes my announcements.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Would you now please present the consent agenda? But as he's doing that, I'll have the opportunity to allow all board members to log into Assembly to make sure that you're able to vote.
No, I got it. All right, thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. I am pleased to submit the consent agenda items numbered 5.1A and 5.4C for your consideration and approval.
Is there a motion to approve consent agenda items 5.1A through 5.4C?
So moved. Second.
Okay.
Third.
We gotta come back. So
You got votes.
I heard moved by Vice Chair McDonald. I did hear a second by Board Member Brooks. Ms. Murray, would you please open the polls? 1 second. Yeah, when she. Thank you, and any discussion? Board Member Dr. Zeff.
Yeah, I just wanted to lift up the joint use agreement with IAFC, the facilities agreement with the Atlanta Football Soccer Club. Thank you to facilities team. This is a great partnership. They're willing to do all the work. They just needed us to work with them to give them access to the field, and I think our community will benefit. So this is what government should look like. So thanks to everybody for making that happen.
All right, thank you. Now we will move, hold on 1 second.
I'm sorry.
Now we have Dr. Johnson mention one of the agenda items for HR.
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to take a moment now that they're official and have them stand up because they're going to get to work. We've got some new principals that are in our midst. Gerard Lattimore at Benteen, Holly Brookins at Burgess, Kenya Jackson, Cleveland, Philip Braziel of South Atlanta, Octavius Harris at Thurl, Shante Blackwell at Perkerson, Chandra Dupree at H.J. Russell, West End Academy. She's presently out at Harvard this week. Bolton Heather Stevenson, Smith Stacy Perot, Garden Hills interim Dante Edwards. I think that's it for tonight. Did I get everybody? All right. Congratulations to you all.
Congratulations. We look forward to seeing great things from you all. Day one.
Started last week.
And now we will move to discussion and action. The following items will be discussed. Review and approve the APS 2025 to 2030 strategic plan, final approval tonight. Final adoption for FY 2026 budget, general funds, special revenue funds, SPLOS funds, nutrition funds, and student activity funds. Number 3, monthly budget adjustment. Number 4, ratification of honorary diplomas. Number 5, ratification of annual board student recognition resolutions. And number 6, the school calendar for school year 2025 to 2026, and then 2026 to 2027 for final approval. Dr. Johnson, please present these items for discussion and action.
Absolutely. Thank you, Madam Chair. This month we have 6 items, as you spoke to. We want to review and approve the 25 through 2030 strategic plan, the final approval of the 2026 budget, the monthly budget adjustment, the ratification of honorary diplomas, the ratification of the annual board student recognition, and the final approval of the school calendars for school year 25-26. The first item is the review and final approval of the APS 2025 through 2030 strategic plan, which was presented during the work session and will guide the district work for the next 5 years.
Thank you. Is there a motion to review and approve the APS 2025 to 2030 strategic plan?
So moved. Second.
It's moved by Vice Chair McDonald, second by Board Member Iretta Baldwin. Any discussion? Nope. Ms. Murray, would you please open the polls? That's all I like. Get off my. Thank you.
The next item, Madam Chair, is the FY26 budget, which is before you for final adoption. In this budget, we continue our commitment to invest in literacy and our people, all while becoming more efficient and effectively. Specifically, you see the reduction in fund balance and other work that is going on to move the district forward.
Is there a motion to approve FY 2026 budget?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Board Member Howard, second by
Pace.
Board Member Pace. I knew I heard someone over here. I just didn't know which voice I heard. Any discussions? Hearing none? Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Board. The next item is a monthly budget adjustment. There are 2 general fund and 1 special revenue budget adjustment this month. We're increasing both the revenue and expenditures by $40,000 for the state-funded IB Exam Fee Initiative Opportunity Grant. The grant is designed to help reduce the financial burden of exam fees for students in schools. We're also increasing the charter school allotments from fund balance by $2.2 million based on the actual October FTE counts in the midterm QBE sheets. And finally, we're bringing a $1.3 million increase in special revenue for Title I Part A for school improvement. Each of the 34 federal identified schools will receive $32,000, and these funds must be expended by September 30 of 2025.
Is there a motion to approve the monthly budget adjustment?
So moved.
Moved by Board Member Baldwin, second by Board Member Johnson. Any discussion?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The next item is 6.4, the ratification of award of honorary diplomas, which the board take into consideration.
Is there a motion to approve the ratification of award of the honorary diplomas adjustment?
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved by Board Member Baldwin, second by Board Member Pace.
Thank you. The next item is ratification of the annual board student recognition resolutions.
Is there a motion to approve the annual board student recognition resolutions?
So moved.
Moved by Board Member Johnson,
Second.
second by Board Member Brooks? Okay. Any discussion?
Thank you. The next item is the school calendar for school year 25-26 for final consideration and approval. Please note that the focus of these shifts to the calendar was to address the Friday start and post-Memorial Day finish as they adversely impact student attendance. Additionally, we have an opportunity to honor the pre-established breaks. While doing so, we can maximize instructional time before the milestones.
Is there a motion to approve the school calendar year 2025 to 2026 and school year 2026 to 2027 for final approval?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Vice Chair McDonald, second by Board Member Pace. Any discussion? Board Member Dr. Zeff.
Thank you, Board Chair. Dr. Johnson, thank you for moving so quickly on this. I've received as much comment about this in my community than anything that's happened recently. People care about their start dates and their breaks, so I appreciate you going to the Go teams. There was a question around what's meant by extended learning. Can you just take a second to describe what that might look like for kids?
Absolutely. And let's first start by acknowledging we have some opportunity to become even better at our extended learning days, number one, okay? And I know Mr. Usher and because superintendents and I have had some of this conversation. But what we wanted to do, the thought was not to interrupt. We know there are everything from college visits to pre-planned trips, et cetera, that are already established during the breaks. We wanted not to interrupt those. So you can expect there not to be live, per se, learning taking place where there's an expectation for a student to show up at a certain time somewhere or to be logged on to a computer at a certain time somewhere. With that said, we also don't want to limit it to asynchronous in isolation. We think that it will be, we know we have some very creative, even as we talked to Go teams, Travis and I last week, there were ideas kind of flowing in the chat, and we want to give ourselves, in particular, knowing that these days are built in now, some space and give our schools some space by cluster by school to kind of determine what's most appropriate for their school community. And so in some cases, it is going to be an asynchronous learning opportunity. In some cases, some schools may take advantage of, because these are already professional learning days, there may be, but I remember one comment being, use the day to go through some math results, and so where appropriate, right? So we want to give flexibility for schools to be able to do that, but what it is not is students having to show up to a school or log on to a class at a particular time. Might a teacher have a recorded lesson that they say, log on and check it out at a time that makes sense for you, and turn in said assignment, post return that might be appropriate. So we just want to extend the learning, and the goal is to get as many of the 180 days of instruction prior to milestones as we could. What we found, and look, I'm just a really open book. My own household did not help the chronic absenteeism rate the last 3 days of school. I'm sorry, Tommy and folks. But we will do better next year because we ain't going to have these 3 days, hopefully, if the board votes them to be on the front end. Thank you.
I think you're striking the right balance here, because especially moving this late in the season to change the calendar time, I think giving folks that flexibility, because I agree with you, those post-Memorial Day days are not super high value instructional days. So, well, I think you struck the right balance. Thanks for moving so quickly here.
And I would like to add, thank you for the engagement you did at a short amount of time to make sure that people knew and gave feedback, because that was critical to make that decision and turn around. And Board Member Brooks has something you want to say as well.
Yeah, no, I appreciate Dr. Zeff bringing up the asynchronous days and asking about them. As a current teacher in Clayton County, we have extended learning days. And I see the benefit for them many times, especially if you're utilizing them the right way. And I think sometimes it's really a good brain break for the kids. It just makes sense and allows teachers to kind of reset and get refocused and dig in on data and do other things like that. So I'm encouraged and grateful that we now at APS are having that practice. And I also appreciate the shift in calendar as well, because I think my household added to the chronic absenteeism too. Because, last week was a struggle. So thank you.
Thank you. Now turn it over to Vice Chair McDonald with this month board resolutions.
First resolution is item 7.1. This resolution highlights that the month of June 2025 has been designated to recognize LGBTQIA+ Pride Month. The Atlanta Board of Education understands that a commitment to diversity in every form is a bedrock value of this public school district and the entire Atlanta community. In accordance with Board Policy JAA, equal educational opportunities, the Board of Education believes all students are entitled to equal educational opportunities regardless of their race, color, religion, sex, citizenship, ethnic or national origin, age, disability, medical status, military status, veteran status, marital status, sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, ancestry, or any legally protected status. The Atlanta Board of Education also expresses its support for student participation in gay straight alliances at several Atlanta schools and hopes for the continued expansion of these worthy programs. The Atlanta Board of Education declares its unwavering commitment to establishing Atlanta Public Schools as a safe, secure, and welcoming space for all of its students, including LGBTQIA+ students.
Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Vice Chair McDonald, second by Board Member Brooks.
I voted yes. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Next item is the Juneteenth resolution.
This resolution highlights that Juneteenth, June 19th of every year, marks the date in 1865 when the last people of African descent enslaved in the United States learned that they had been declared free in the Emancipation Proclamation, signed over 2 years prior. Recognizing the multi-layered and complex history of the United States, including our ongoing struggle to live up to the ideals of equality and freedom, requires us to remember the centuries of bondage experienced by Africans enslaved in this country and the present-day lingering effects of that bondage. The Atlanta Board of Education recognized Juneteenth as an opportunity to remind all school district stakeholders of our shared responsibility to perfect our diverse community's commitment to justice. Therefore, we as members of the Atlanta Board of Education do hereby recognize on this second day of June 2025 that we recognize June 19th, 2025 as Juneteenth, a day of historical, cultural, and political significance to the Atlanta Public Schools community.
Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Board Member Brooks, second by Board Member Pace. Any discussion?
Item 7.3 is a board resolution recognizing National Caribbean American Heritage Month. This resolution highlights that Caribbean American Heritage Month was established on June 5th, 2006 by President George W. Bush to promote the rich culture and heritage of the Caribbean American people and their contributions to the United States of America. Since the founding of the U.S., Americans of Caribbean heritage such as Alexander Hamilton, Secretary of State Colin Powell, Congressman Shirley Chisholm, Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor, and Vice President Kamala Harris have made significant and profound contributions to our country. About 13 million, or about 4% of the total U.S. population, have Caribbean ancestry. The Atlanta Board of Education recognizes and values the contributions of Caribbean Americans, including our students, staff, and their families, through the sharing of a rich culture that enhances the experience for all students. Therefore, we, as members of the Board of Education on the second day of June 2025, recognize that June 2025 is Caribbean American Heritage Month.
Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Moved by Board Member Pace,
Second.
second by Board Member Johnson. Is there any discussion? Thank you. Madam General Counsel, does the board need to report out from executive session?
Yes, Madam Chair, the board needs to take action on one item. I request a motion that the Atlanta Board of Education accept the hearing officer findings of fact and recommendations dated May 7th, 2025, and terminate the employment of Dynasty Knox.
May I have a motion that the Atlanta Board of Education accept the hearing officer findings and facts and recommendation dated May 7, 2025 to terminate employment of Dynasty Knox?
So moved.
Moved by Board Member Dr. Zeff,
Second.
second by Board Member Brooks.
Okay.
I would like to take a moment to, I would like to take a moment to recognize interim principal Kimberly Lashman at Maynard Jackson. She is not with us today, but we want to take a moment to make sure that she is recognized as part of the new cohort of principals for the upcoming school year. Before we turn it over to not report outs, but board information, I would like to take a moment for Board Member Brooks to give his update on his conference report out. And then it will turn over to Vice Chair McDonald.
Thank you. Yes, I just attended the Equity is Love in Action conference in San Diego last week. Felt compelled to attend. As we know, we are living in unsure times, and I'm not sure how many equity conferences are going to be available for too much longer. So I seized the opportunity to go. There were a lot of really good conversations, things ranging from how to make our schools more safer and inclusive environments for our students of the LGBTQIA plus community, down to culturally responsive pedagogy, down to how race shows itself in discipline. So there were a lot of really good conversations, a lot of good value add was there, and some other innovative best practices that I've had an opportunity to be exposed to from other districts throughout the country. So it was an honor to be able to be present. And I encourage my colleagues, should they have this conference again, I think it's something that we would all benefit from. Thank you.
Thank you. And it's on you, Vice Chair.
The travel report is a monthly report that details district-funded travel for board members and the board office, including total year-to-date spending. The detailed financial report is a monthly report that details the revenue and expenditures of the Consolidation General Fund. The special revenue report is a monthly report on grant budget adjustments and amended budgets. The quarterly student activity report provides information regarding the receipts and disbursements to schools. The construction status report is a monthly report on active construction projects that are primarily funded by the voter-approved special purposes local option sales tax.
Each of these reports can be found on the Information tab in Assembly.
We'd like to thank you for your participation and engagement, and we are delighted to say that we will be on a summer recess for the month of July, and we will look forward to seeing all of you in August on our brand new first day of school, which will be August 4th. Hip hip hooray, is that in the script? Oh wait, no hip hip hooray was in the script, sorry.
Yeah. Before we adjourn the meeting, I just want to say thank you, Dr. Johnson, for an incredible year. Woo! One time. And we're excited.
In the words of Ken Zeff, take a victory lap. Take a victory lap.
And we're excited to see everyone back in August, the start of the new year. Great things to come. And with that being said, I would like to entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Moved by Board Member Brooks, second by Board Member Howard.
Board member, everybody.
Any opposed? I'll say aye. Everybody say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We're done. Have a good